Hi everyone, welcome to the graduate student orientation for fall 2018. So glad you could join us. This orientation will take you through a lot of things. It's a guide. It will not answer all of your questions. It will feel like information overload. Please be patient with yourself. We are here to help you and help you learn how Texas A&M works because it is a very big machine. If you have any questions, since this is obviously electronic, send them after you watch it. Send them to me via email. Come by my office. Call me. I'm happy to answer and clarify any questions that you may have. So let's jump in. We are going to talk about Howdy. We're going to talk about OGAPs, International Student Services, degree plans, departmental information, and some helpful tips. So to start, we're going to go with who is who in the department. So you have me, Stormy Kretschmar, Graduate Program Academic Advisor. Now that sometimes gets confusing because I am not your major professor. I'm not your academic advisor in that, but I am the departmental academic advisor for grad students so that you can get through paperwork and deadlines and answering questions about where do you go to get this question answered or to do this. That's what I'm here for. You have Dr. Sandun Fernando, who is the Graduate Program Faculty Coordinator. He and I work really close together to facilitate the effective running of the graduate program. You have Dr. Steven Searcy, who is our department head, and his door is always open. And you have Miss Cheryl Yeager. Now, as graduate students, you do a lot with money, so you are very connected to the business office. So you're going to know her and her team of ladies pretty well. To start, we have a lot of degrees at the graduate level here in the department. We have, under Biological and Agricultural Engineering, we have the Masters of Science, which is 32 credit hours. You can see right there it's 24 hours of coursework, 8 hours of research, plus a thesis. We have the Master of Engineering, which is internship-based. It's 30 credit hours total of coursework. Doctor of Philosophy, that's your traditional PhD. There are two tracks. You have the 96-hour track and the 64-hour track. 64 hours are for those who are coming in with a master's degree. The 96 credit hour option is for those who are coming in without a master's degree and they're coming straight from their bachelor's. And then we have the Doctor of Engineering. That is housed out of the College of Engineering. Not many students do it. It's professional internship based. Most students at that level prefer to get the traditional PhD. Focus areas for biological and agricultural engineering. You have food engineering, environmental, bioprocessing, biomaterials, machine and energy systems, systems analysis, food and feed and fiber processing. So we do a lot of different things. We're pretty broad, and all of you are hopefully doing something related to this type of research. We also have an AGSM degree, which is our Agricultural Systems Management. We have a Master's of Science option, which is thesis. We also have a non-thesis option at the Master's of Science level. You can see right there that there's a difference in the number of coursework hours. The non-thesis option has more coursework because there is no thesis. There's also the Master's of Agriculture. We, however, do not currently enroll students into that program. We have distance degrees. So we have the Master's of Science AGSM distance degree and the Master's of Engineering BAEN distance degree. I'm telling you about all of these different degrees because a lot of times students who are at the master's level may want to elevate and go to the PhD level, or students who started with the PhD may find that they want to step back, take a little bit more time, do the Master's of Science first. Or some students may say they have to leave the campus. They may transition to a distance degree. So I want to make sure you have a true snapshot of the entire department while you're here as a graduate student. Male and female population, just a little bit of demographic information. You can see that we're predominantly male, 70%, female, 30%. As of right now, we have 73 graduate students. That does not include the entering class of fall 2018. We have 12 students coming in. Not sure how that shakes out the demographic information, but it's a pretty good snapshot of where we stand right now. And you can see that we are predominantly international. And again, this does not include the entering class for 2018. So you joined a top-tier program. We have about 37 faculty members. We have about 73 graduate students. Now with the entering class, we have about 12, so we're going to be at about 85 as of September. Last academic year, 27 students submitted work for publishing. 19 of those had their work accepted, and then 30 students presented at professional meetings. This is something that's very important to us here in the department. We really want you to publish. We want you to have those papers accepted for publishing, and we really want you to present at professional meetings. In fact, before you leave from here at a master's level, you need to have one thing published or submitted for publishing. At the PhD level, you need to have 2. Most students have many more than that. So let's talk about Howdy. So this is Howdy. This is the My Record tab. Now this is a screenshot of my Howdy, which has a lot of different tabs at the top, which you may or may not have, but everyone should have the My Record tab. This is where you can see that red circle where you can register, search class schedules, add and drop classes. That's really important. Check your registration status. So as you move through, you can find out when do I actually register. You can look at your schedule. So if you do any changes in Howdy, if you drop a class, add a class, change hours in research. Let's say you originally enrolled in 1 hour of research. Now you want to up that to 4 hours. You do that in Howdy. You always need to go back and make sure those changes have been saved. Howdy is pretty much instantly, so it should have saved, but check your schedule just to verify. You can also do your lab safety acknowledgement here. That is something you have to do every single semester if you are taking a course with a lab. And if you are having troubles registering and you email me and you say, hey, I can't get into this class, and you tell me what the registration error is, most likely I'll say lab safety acknowledgement, and that usually takes care of it. So just go ahead and get in the process of getting that done every single semester. You can also check your grades here and pull your transcripts, check your holds, see that middle column with the red circle. And yeah, that's pretty much, that's the Howdy, My Record tab. There's also a My Finances tab. That's where you can pay your tuition. You can look at your rate code. You can accept your financial aid. It's pretty much your one-stop shop. Of course, you can always go to their office. They're pretty busy sometimes, and sometimes their phone system gets overwhelmed. So maybe start here, and then if you can't get your question answered, head over to their actual physical office. All right, let's talk about OGAPs. OGAP stands for Office of Graduate and Professional Studies, and they are pretty much the rulers of everything graduate school. Here's what you need to know. That is their website right there at the top. They're amazing. They have a really good website, lots of calendars, lots of resources for students. You have a lot of deadlines to meet as a graduate student. And if you're an international graduate student, you have even more. So you will have to submit a degree plan. That's via the DPSS system. This needs to be done early. They're actually deadlines. You can find them in the handbook, our departmental handbook, on when you need to do those and submit them. Within DPSS, you will also upload your committee when you're doing your degree plan at the same time. You will talk to OGAPs about your thesis research proposal, your prelims for PhD students. We do not have QEPs, qualifying exams, here in this department. We just have prelims. Every student, regardless of what they're pursuing, thesis, non-thesis, Masters of Engineering, PhD, Masters of Science, BAEN, AGSM, you will do a final exam or a defense. And you have to request this before you defend or it won't be accepted. And there are deadlines for that on when you need to accept it. So I'll be sending out information. It's probably going to be like information overload as far as me sending graduate students emails, but it's there to help you. And you also apply for graduation with them. So communicate with me. Don't miss something because you aren't communicative or you haven't been watching your deadlines. It's your education. Take control of it. Here's some quick links. I'm not going to go through them because I don't want to take us away from the recording, but I'm going to email this to everyone so that you can actually physically click on these. They're really, really good resources. The second one where you see buttons, forms, information, that is just like, there's so many forms graduate students have to do at OGAPs. That is a quick reference for all the forms that are there. The calendars, that third one, that one's great. You can download those calendars to your iOS, Android device, to your Microsoft Outlook. Amazing. I live and breathe by them. You also have resources for degree completion. That's a great tool as well, because you can click on, I'm a Master's of Science student, click on it, what do I need to do? And it will walk you through what do you need to do, when do you need to do it by, who does it have to be approved by. It will have links in there of you need this form, here's how you get to it. Really great. Funding opportunities, and then of course the catalog. So if you find a class, you're like, man, I really like that class, I want to take it, but you can't find information really about it in Howdy. All it says is, BAEN 661. You can go to the catalog, you can search BAEN 661, and you can find out what that course actually is and a little description of it. Here's that DPSS portal I was telling you about. This is where you're actually going to log in and you're going to submit your degree plan. You're going to submit your committee. You're going to, if you need to change a major, if you need to change a degree level. So if you want to go from master's to PhD, PhD to master's, you do it in here. If you need to change a course on your degree plan. So you submitted your degree plan, it's solid, it's locked in, it's been approved, but all of a sudden you're like, I didn't take that class, I actually took this class. We got to update your degree plan because the system will flag you saying you never took that course. So you'll go in and you'll do edits to your degree plan in here. Edits to your committee can be done in here. It's really a one-stop shop. We kind of pretty much talked about that. So yeah, in DPSS, you're going to create and submit a degree plan, select your committee members, change programs, change majors. ISS, let's talk about International Student Services. I know it may not feel like it, but they are your friend. They have a staff that's probably not large enough to handle the volume that they have to do. So please be patient with them. They handle a lot of students here on campus, and they really do their best. Their phone system is a little quirky, so if you can, go in person to their office. It might just get you seen a little bit faster. And the biggest thing I can say with ISS is never risk it. If you think you need to talk to them, talk to them. So you change your major, gonna need to talk to them. Change your degree level, gonna need to talk to them. Are you traveling outside of the United States? Gotta get a travel stamp. Visas, I-20s, reduce course load. You want to work in the United States as an intern or do your practical training after you graduate and you want to stay a little longer and do a little bit of work education. All has to go through ISS because it's tied to your immigration status. So never risk it. I know a little about a very big thing that they have to deal with. So I might be able to answer the question for you in sort of a vague sense, but most likely I'm probably going to refer you to ISS. So let's talk about something fun, the department. That is the link to the page on our website for graduate students. There's a little video on there about grad programs. You can find links to the handbook. You can find links to funding. You can find links to, just a whole bunch of different things. What else can I say about the website? Don't miss a deadline, teacher education. Yeah, pretty much stuff I already said. Let's go through the degree plans kind of one by one. So to start off, you have the MS, BAEN thesis option. You will see 681, BAEN 681, that's our seminar. BAEN 690, called Theory of Research. BAEN 683, which is Peer Review, Process, and Publication. I'm going to pause for a second and talk a little bit about 683. Don't take it too soon in your program because you need to have something written from your thesis or dissertation so that you can peer review it. If you take it too soon and you don't have anything written, you'll have to spend time writing on a topic that may be completely unrelated so that you can move forward in the class. So you're kind of doing double work. So try not to take it too soon. 690, you can kind of take it in sort of toward the middle end of your program. 681, you really need to be taking that one at the beginning. And all students will be taking these classes. All thesis dissertation-based students. You have BAEN 691. 691s are always research. You can see you have 8 hours here for this option. Then you have 2 BAEN elective courses. You have 1 math elective, There is a list of approved math classes in the handbook. You need to refer to it. I would caution you against taking any upper level mathematics. Those can be kind of tricky. Most students take Math 601, Math 611, I think Math 612. Then you have Stat. That one's also a little tricky. Most students take Stat 601, I believe Stat 609. Then you have free electives, and those free electives can be drawn from anywhere really on campus. They need to be upper level. You're talking, these are 600 level classes, graduate level courses. They can be drawn from ecosystem sciences, soil and crop, plant pathology, water management, civil engineering, mechanical engineering. Just really depends on what it is that you're focusing on and what your major professor and committee would like you to gain as far as knowledge. The MS AGSM thesis option, you again have 681. Everyone will take that. 690 because your thesis. 683, again because your thesis. BAEN 691, your research hours. You can see that you have 2 BAEN electives. You will, in addition, take BAEN 601, which is the Advanced Agricultural Systems Analysis. That's specific for AGSM students. And you can see that we removed the math course, but the stat course is still there. So you still have a statistics elective. Then you have free electives. So that is your MS AGSM thesis option. Pretty similar. Now the non-thesis option is a little different. Obviously no research hours, and also no 683, no 690, because you're not writing a thesis. You will still take seminar. You have 2 BAEN electives. You will take BAEN 601. And then you have a lot more free electives. So your 26 hours. And again, those are taken from across the campus at the graduate level. And that's a total of 36 hours. The Masters of Engineering BAEN degree, this is an internship-based program, not thesis. You will take 681 seminar, and then you will have internship, and that needs to be between 3 and 6 hours. You will have 2 BAEN electives, a math elective. You can see we've removed statistics, and then you will have free electives for a total of 30 hours. This is a program we don't actually admit students into or enroll students in, so I'm skipping it. Let's talk about the 96-hour credit option for the PhD level BAEN. We do not have a PhD level AGSM degree. We only have a PhD level BAEN degree. So the 96 credit hour option is for students who do not have a master's degree. Students who are going straight from their bachelor's to their PhD. That's why it's so long. You will take BAEN 681, BAEN 690, and 683 because you are thesis dissertation based. You will have research. You'll see that the total credit hours is 60 right there. That's maximum. So you can have less than that, but you can't go above 60. You'll have 2 BAEN electives. You will have a math elective and a stat elective, and then you have free electives for a total of 96. PhD BAEN 64 credit hour option for those students who have a master's degree and they're going forward. You will know this because the 6496 is dictated, it's stated in Howdy. If you have a question about which track you're on, just let me know and I can clarify it for you. But you have BAEN 681, 690, 683, pretty similar, 691 research. You'll see that you have 40 hours of BAEN research. That is a maximum, again. You have 2 BAEN electives. You have a math elective, a stat elective, and then free electives. The MS AGSM distance course. They're a little bit build your own, but this is kind of a traditional setup. The classes are a little bit more specific to distance education students. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail, but you will have a lot of you'll have like BAEN 625, special topics classes, nanotechnology, shelf life principles. And this is really sort of the food kind of track because that's really who our distance education is oriented towards. Doesn't mean that you you could pursue that program not being food. Your courses would just be a little bit different. You will take BA in 601. So all students who are AJSM will take 601, and you will take a stat. And then you have free electives for a total of 36. And then we have the Masters of Engineering BAEN distance course or program. Again, kind of similar to the MSAJSM distance. Kind of build your own. This is just one of the variables that could be out there for you. If you are a distance student, come talk to me. We'll talk a little bit more about the courses that you'll need to take along with your major professor. Office space. Obviously, if you're distance, you are not given an office space here in the department. If you are an on-campus student, we will assign you an office space permitting availability because we have more students than we actually have graduate student space for. You'll need to obtain a key from Susie. Everyone should have received the handout. I believe it's the additional information with your room assignment, and it tells you what the deposit for the key is, the policy, how much money you need, how many keys are you getting, etc. Big thing. That's why it's in red. Do not change desks without asking me, and do not swap keys. I actually have to sign for you to have keys to the department. So I don't want to get in trouble because you guys have swapped keys, your desk doesn't match. It's just not going to be a good situation for you. Scout's Hall is protected with keycard access, so always make sure you have your Texas A&M ID, make sure it's valid. I will give you access to Scouts so that you can access it, at non-8 to 5 hours. So, if you are up here late working in the lab, need to do something, at your office space, you can get in. You will need a key for your room because offices still have keys, but the outside doors for Scouts are Texas A&M ID swipe. If you are in P&M or Hobgood, we do not have card swipe ability out there, so you will be given an external key. There are some perks. Let's talk about the fun stuff. Coffee, gotta join the club though. There is a printer room in both Hobgood and Scouts. It's free for students to use, but please be conscientious about what you're printing. Please don't print off 1,000, 2,000 pages. It needs to be work, grad student related as well, school related. We have computer labs. Printers are in those computer labs. Everyone has a mailbox in the mailroom here in Scouts. No, as of now, there is not really a mailbox situation that I have worked out in Hobgood. There are mailboxes. If you're in Hobgood, they kind of work it out themselves within that building. And then, of course, there is a graduate student lounge, which has a microwave, a fridge, a coffee maker, a table, and a couch. So it's a really nice place. All right, so probation. Let's talk about the unfun stuff. No one really wants to talk about it, but we have to because it is important. So all graduate students must maintain a GPA of 3.0 or above. Now that is cumulative, so that's your total GPA. So that is everything you've taken as a graduate student. Failure to maintain this GPA will result in the student being placed on probation. So let me explain that in a little bit more detail. As a graduate student, got to maintain a 3.0. You live in two worlds. You have degree plan world and you have transcript world. Degree plan world is your plan of study. It's what you filed in DPSS with your committee, your major professor, OGEPS has approved it. That has to be a 3.0. Also, your regular transcript, which has everything you've ever taken as a grad student, has to be a 3.0 as well. Now let me walk you through kind of the grades. A is a 4.0, B is a 3.0, C is a 2.0. D's, F, and Q's, we're not even going to talk about them because you can't even use them. Just don't do them. So if you get some C's, which are 2.0, you're going to have some A's to offset that 2.0. So, you average it out, right? If you're getting too many C's, that's a problem because you're not maintaining a 3.0 or you're kind of spinning your wheels. If you fall into this situation, we will alert you. But it's easier to attack the situation if you can talk to us before it gets to be a problem. So talk to us, talk to me, talk to your major professor. If you end up on probation, what we do, and we look at cumulative. So if your semester GPA has dropped below 3.0, we send you a warning and we say, hey, maybe, be careful. You don't want to fall into a situation where your overall is below a 3. If your overall is below a 3, we'll email you, we'll say you're on probation, we'll give you a plan of action. Because some students drop so low that one semester isn't going to be enough. So we create a plan and we say, okay, by this time you need to be, on the right track. We want to see you succeed. But you have to talk to us. We're here to help you. And failure to maintain a proper GPA and progressing through the program either via your GPA and your coursework or your research can result in dismissal from the department. It does happen. It's unfortunate, but it is something that, is out there. Leveling, that is something that students who are coming into the program without an engineering background, we have them do leveling so that they can get up to speed. If you're on leveling, you have a memo, you have a plan of action, like you have coursework laid out that you need to take. You've worked with me to get into those classes, so you know if you're leveling. If you are conditional admit, there are some times where we admit students below a 3.0 on their previous coursework. They will come in to A&M as a new student, but they didn't have a 3.0 before. There'll be a conditional. Those are pretty strict because you have to have a 3.0 that first semester to have that conditional admit removed. If not, then you risk being dismissed from the department. Come and talk to me. If you think that you're getting on this track, if you think that something's happening, if something has gone wrong, let me know. I can't help if I don't know. Helpful tips. So when you email me, please include your full name. Please include your UIN. Nicknames are hard because it's not how I can see you in this system. I do a lot of different things in the department. The grad program is actually only a third of what I do here in the department, so give me some time to answer back. Emailing me more will not help me get back to you any faster. It's just clogging up my email, and I get a lot. You guys get a lot. I get a lot. So allow 24 hours. Try and tell me why you're contacting me. I can't tell you how many times I get an email and the student actually hasn't asked a question or made a statement or anything, and I have to email back and be like, what are you asking? I don't understand. Oh, try not to leave me voicemails. I'm gone from my desk so often that sometimes it can be a week before I can actually get to my voicemail. So you can call me, because that's the fastest way to reach me. But if I don't answer, hang up, send me an email, stop by my office, go from there. General tips. So the last day to free add drop is always during the first week of classes. So once you get registered, that first week of classes, the 5th class day during fall and spring, you have what we call free add drop. That's you can change your schedule, you can add, you can drop without penalty. You get into a class and you're like, whoa, this isn't what I thought. Let me drop it, get into a different class. You can do that. After that last day to free add drop, and I'll send you guys warnings about this, you are locked in. If you drop after that, it's what's called a Q drop, that next line. The deadline for Q drops starts on that after the first week of class and then ends about 2 to 3 months into the semester. Q dropping is a little complicated because let's say you're in 9 hours. That's full time for a graduate student. You drop a 3-hour class. You go to 6 hours. If you're an international student who has to maintain full-time enrollment, you're going to have to add back hours. And when you Q drop, you still have to pay for that class, no matter who you are. So you've registered for 9 hours, you've paid for 9 hours, but you dropped 3. So as a domestic student, that's where it ends. You pay for 9. But as an international student, you have to then add back those 3 hours to get you back to 9. So now you have paid for 12 hours. So it can be pretty steep. Make sure you don't get yourself into trouble. Now, that's not to say don't Q drop. If you think that you're going to get a D or an F, Q drop. You can't take the hit on your GPA. You have to fill out the form with me. So you'll come to my office, we'll talk about it, we'll talk about the options, and we'll figure out, what's going to be the best plan. Sometimes you could take an I and incomplete in the course and work with the professor. So we'll talk more about that when you come in and Q drop. Always be sure, like when you go during free ad drop and you do something in Howdy, like I said at the beginning, triple check and make sure that that change has happened. I can't tell you how many times a student thinks they dropped a course and then they get a couple weeks into class and it turns out it's still on their record. Always discuss your course selections with your major professor. They're the ones who control your degree plan. They'll allow you to take, the courses you want, but they may say, hey, I really want you to study this because you're going to be doing this in the lab or this with research, and you need that background information. And establish your degree plan and committee early. That will save you a lot of pain and hassle. So let's wrap up. Here's some of our helpful websites. Again, I'll send this out to you so that you can click on them on your own. But yeah, just good places that you can go to. Aggie Map, Career Center, the Distance Education website at the very bottom, ISS at the very top. Get plugged in. We have social media, pretty active. We have a Facebook. We have an Instagram. We also have a Twitter. And we also have WhatsApp. WhatsApp is the chatting portal program system that our graduate students use. They're on it relatively frequently saying, hey, I'm taking Math 601 with this professor. What do you guys think? Or, hey, let's meet up for bowling or, random things. There is a Graduate Student Association. This is their website. They are great. They do a lot of amazing things here in the department. They do socials. They are the ones who provided that lounge. They maintain the fridge and the microwave in there. So they're really your officer team here in the department. I encourage all of you to get involved. And that is it. And since this is obviously a recording, it's hard to ask live questions. But if you have any, email me, call me, stop by my office. I am here to help. With that, I bid you all adieu.